Hello friends! So today we are putting together and installing a new hive. This is our hive, and that's our package of bees so far. So just a little bit about what makes up a hive. This is called the inner cover. That goes inside this one, which is the outer cover, which would sit on top of this box. This is a brood box, and eventually we're going to have two on there, but you don't necessarily need to when you're starting a brand new hive. This right here is called an entrance reducer. Naturally, it reduces the entrance. It usually keeps mice and other vermin from going in. And then this is a bottom board. It has like a mesh screen across of it. Like most of the wood you can see, painted pink all around. And the rest of it is just mesh, so it gets air circulation underneath, so the hive doesn't overheat or get too much moisture inside, because that's a whole other issue. So your average hive box is going to have, this is a Langstroth hive, which is probably the most common kind of hive that home beekeepers use. And it comes with these plastic frames, which you've seen in our other videos, already built with honey and bee combs. But, I mean, honey and honeycomb. And so they're all blank like this. Usually there's 10, but in this case, we're using what's called a frame feeder. You can see we already poured bee food in it, which is just 1-to-1 sugar and water. You dissolve the sugar in the water. And we also put something called Honeybee Healthy in there, which is a stimulant to help the bees when you first get a hive started, or sometimes in the spring, or what have you. Like, it helps the bees. It's basically a blend of essential oils that helps stimulate them. So that's where we're at so far. You'll notice that, like, this is different. Our other hive video that we showed had a hive top feeder, not a frame feeder. So those are two of the various different kinds of feeders we can use. So we had that one on hand. Jeremy seems to prefer the hive top for the other hive. So that's what we're doing. This is up close and personal of our bees in the package. They come in a package. You can order them in the mail this way. You can go pick them up from an apiary. You order them through, what is that, 3 pounds of bees? About 10,000 in there. So we're putting an elastic on this frame because we're going to put the queen cage on it, right? Alright, so we have sprayed this package like we did last time with the sugar water, or syrup, and they got much more quiet, and then Jeremy kind of shook the cage down so it all came off the top there, and they're on the bottom, kind of not as agitated as one would think when you shake up a cage of bees. So now we're getting in here, and that can you see in the center is filled with bee food as well, right?
Yes.
And then that little circle off to the left is the queen cage. So we are going to pop this open and then shake them down into the hive.
I'm going to get these nails out. It's okay, we're going to lose a few here. Just want the queen cage. make sure she's in there and alive. Yep, she's in there and alive, walking around.
We named her Khaleesi.
Go ahead and pull this cap off right now.
See, that's the thing. The bees don't want to sting you, because honeybees, they got one shot and they're dead. So they'll avoid stinging you if they can. Which is why it's relatively safe to go in without gloves. Not something I do. But, knock on wood, Jeremy hasn't gotten stung.
When it's a new package, they have nothing to protect. They don't have any comb, they don't have any honey or any brood to protect, so they generally will not sting. Although this one's getting testy with me.
Because you got her queen.
Make sure they're not. Alright. Okay, so we do that. Get this out of here. Put this on. We got the food in there. We got the queen in there. Okay.
We got this beautifully painted hive that I did myself. I messed up the stenciling a little bit because I had some rogue spray paint, but look at it. Be happy, be blessed. I love it.
Alright, we're gonna do this nice and quick.
Alright. This is it. You literally dump the bees in. It seems violent, but it's actually not, because most of them were in there. And they will be able to get in through this other entrance that I pointed out on the bottom here. These guys out here, or these ladies, if you were a little worried about that. So that's it. Now we leave it there. Eventually they'll empty out. We'll put the outer cover on once that happens, and then we'll give them some time to start, you know, building some comb, collecting, getting to know their new hive, and check back for weekly inspections like we do with our other hive. Thanks for watching. So just a brief addition here, both, you know, to the video and literally to the hive. We ended up going inside and building this top box. By we, I mean Jeremy. Because what happened was, since when we flipped the cage to the hive, and we didn't do it as gracefully as we wanted, you saw some of the bees got stuck outside of it. They would have eventually found their way. Like you can see, they obviously found the bottom entrance now. But for a while they were flying around the cage like all willy-nilly, like, oh my god, how do we get inside to where our queen is? So what we did was we put this top box on, so the inner cover in the cage is inside that top box, and then the outer cover is on top. So that kind of secluded them. Like they had, it hindered their ability to fly around the cage that still had the bees inside that had the more immediate access to the queen, so it forced them to come out that little notch on the inner cover and go in the other entrance to the hive. So now they're much calmer, they're getting in there, they're getting to know their queen in their hive. Probably tomorrow they'll be doing some orientation flights, and eventually we'll be seeing them collecting pollen, building comb, and again we'll be doing some regular inspections to make sure that's all well and they're getting at home. But we want to give them time to adjust, so that's what we're going to do. Thanks for watching!